Hi, Sgt Don Gulla with Arrestling Mixed Martial Arts. Hey, one of my passions is throwing edge weapons. So if you're going to do it safely, right, make sure you have the safety stuff, right? Some eye protection, right? Need that in case it bounces back, hits you in the eye. But if you're going to take a serious wound from something that's pretty sharp at close quarters, you need to have something a little bit beyond that. So let's talk about, we got some quick clot, right? Tourniquet would be a big one. And I have like a pretty close to my house. Right, I want something that's going to at least stop the bleeding long enough for me to get to them or for them to get to me. Right, we're going to throw some nice, pretty close quarters here. So some of the things to think about, but just don't throw and hurt yourself. All right, let's take a look. Enjoy.
Push with your thumb right there. There you go.
All right, let's talk about first thing, if you're going to have a place to throw, especially if you're going to do it and you're downstairs or something, having safe backstops to where something that you can stick into. Wood works real well, but you want to make sure it's sturdy. The other thing is make sure that you have something, you can see I have rubberized up on the floor, so it has something to fall on. It doesn't make a lot of noise. That's another problem with throwing edge weapons. But have something that it's safe. Kids can't wander into it. Pets can't wander into it. So this is my basic throwing, but we'll talk next about. Okay, let's start with a little bit of physics on like throwing edge weapons 101. So let's talk a little bit about so we have a couple different throwing tools, and basically there's two things that you're going to talk about, and that is your distance and your grip, because what you're going to see is that depending on how we grip on to the throwing weapon, whether it's a Tomahawk, a AK47 bayonet, or a throwing knife, basically there's a rotation, right, of how far it's going to hit, but also basically the grip is going to dictate how fast it rotates also. So I'm going to show you just a couple examples that if I'm this close to the target, really, right, so let's say I have these, right, obviously I could be a little bit farther back, but if you're throwing from here to here, right, you don't have to, right, rotate. They're going straight into the target, right, one after the other. So what it does is it allows you to throw it. I can get farther back, but my hand would have to slide up, right? So I'm throwing it about right here, but as I get closer, I'd have to throw it up higher to get less of a rotation as I move back, right? So we'll work more on that, all right? So something to think about, rotation and grip, right? Phase one. All right, so let's talk about now we're going to back up a little bit. We're going to go for a half rotation. So I've marked on here, right, where I'm going to hold my grip and where my thumb's at. But we're going to just pick a random spot. But I want you to see that at different spot, the rotation is going to change a little bit if I throw the same. So I'm going to go to the 12-foot line right here, and I'm going to throw. But I want you to see that from this position where it's hitting, right, here. All right. All right, so I have a couple different angles, as we'll see from the other cam, that one kind of hits straight in, but I'm going to say that the average is probably going to be somewhere right in between those. So let's try it again. All right, I'm going to bring it out. The key is, right, are you throwing it the same way every time? So I'm going to do the same grip where my thumb is right at that blue tape, and I'm going to throw I'll throw at 3 different positions. All right, I'm going to throw at pretty close, like let's say 1 step in front of the 12-foot line. I'm going to throw here. Here we go. All right, that one didn't even stick because what it did is that when it hit, right, it was about like this. It didn't have enough to stick. So I'll take a 1 yard step backwards to do the same thing. Here we go. All right. All right, that one hit pretty straight on. So that one did the rotation and went right here. So I'm going to take another step back. Let's see if it'll still stick. I'm going to go back probably a little bit beyond what I need to. All right, so we're going 1 step back beyond that. All right, here we go. All right, so that one basically rotated to where it went beyond that, so there wasn't enough to stick. So I come back to my position here. All right, where I'm going to throw at the 12 exactly. You see what it looks like. Same grip, right? We should get the same rotation. So as you're playing with these different, right, you don't want to throw it right, at the different location, right? But find where your sweet spot is, do the same grip over and over to where you can get the same rotation every time. All right, enjoy. All right, so the question is, what about a tomahawk? Isn't that a little bit different? So we have our tomahawk here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the same thing. I'm going to grip, let's say at the very bottom to where you can see my hand, and I'm going to give it a throw, and we're going to go at the 12-yard line, and then we'll move back a little bit to see what difference it makes. So I'm right at the 12, and we'll see if it actually sticks from here. All right, here we go. All right, so you notice that one is very, very flat, right? It hit, right, exactly like this. So now I'm going to take a little step backwards, right? Let's say about a half a step back. We're going to do the same thing. Here we go. Same grip. Okay, notice the rotation. It's now rotated a little bit more, right? And as I take one more step back, will it stay on? I don't know. So we're going all the way back. We'll give it a throw here. Here we go. All right, so that gives you a good example. First one hit flush, next one hit here, right? And the next one hit here. So I can change that rotation, right? So I'm going to go back to the same first position, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab up higher and watch what happens to the rotation. All right, same first location. All right, see what it did? It actually flattened it out, so it rotated slower. All right, so some things to think about, right? So physics behind throwing edge weapons,